I'd like to introduce the following motion. Whereas there has been a recent change in government at the provincial level, and whereas governments at the provincial and municipal levels are required to establish priorities within limited resources, and whereas the Five Hills Regional Health Authority has submitted a plan for the upgrade and expansion of the Moose Jaw Union Hospital, therefore be it resolved that Moose Jaw City Council authorizes City Administration to forward a letter to the newly elected Premier of Saskatchewan with copies to the Minister of Health and the 3 local MLAs, indicating that with respect to provincial capital funding, the #1 priority above all others for the City of Moose Jaw is the upgrade and expansion of the Moose Jaw Union Hospital as proposed by the Five Hills Regional Health Authority.
Thank you, Councillor Swanson. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Looning. Councillor Swanson.
As we all are aware, there has been a recent provincial election and we have a new government with seats 38 for the Saskatchewan Party and 20 for the New Democratic Party. The Saskatchewan Party in this election increased its urban presence. It has 5 seats in Saskatoon, 3 in Regina, 1 in Moose Jaw, 1 in Yorkton. The remaining 28 seats are largely rural, and I would point out that not one Saskatchewan Party incumbent lost his or her seat. Most of those second or third term MLAs, Saskatchewan Party MLAs, represent ridings with communities that have recently lost hospitals or have had hospitals converted to primary health care centers against the wishes of those communities. I'm sure many of those rural communities would like a new curling rink and a new hockey rink as well. And I would encourage my colleagues when they attend SUMA to listen to the resolutions coming forward from the smaller communities who are not so much worried about getting a new curling rink or a new hockey rink as much as getting some assistance in paying the utilities of those facilities. So we have a situation where we have a provincial government where the large majority represent rural ridings that have lost hospitals and have capital desires like everyone else. They get to look at Moose Jaw's wish list. New curling rink, new hockey rink, new indoor soccer things, expanded and upgraded hospital. Quite a list. Last week, the Finance Minister of Canada, Mr. Flaherty, urged municipalities to set priorities, saying there's not a bottomless pit of money. I agree. And I think we're in a very dangerous position here in Moose Jaw. We no longer as a community are home to the Premier and 2 senior members of government. We have 1 member in the government, a newly elected member, and I think it's very dangerous when he has to go to caucus with the shopping list of the community of Moose Jaw. The Five Hills Health Authority recently reported that recruitment of specialists remains a difficult problem for this community. One of the primary advantages you have in recruiting medical specialists is the quality of the facilities you offer. Imagine the difficulty of taking a surgeon to the surgical ward in Moose Jaw Union Hospital and say, yeah, built in 1954. Those windows are 53 years old. Not an easy task. Moose Jaw Union Hospital needs expansion and upgrade. We too in the early 90s experienced closure of hospital, downsizing of beds. We have yet to experience in the last 33 years an upgrade and expansion of the hospital. I believe that is more urgent than any need for capital funding in our community, any other need for capital funding. And I think we're playing with fire if we think we can go to the provincial government with both hands out and our pockets full are empty saying, please fill it. We want all these things. I do not believe Moose Jaw's priorities will be as high on the list, supposedly, as they were when we had a Premier and 2 senior MLAs. This motion is reintroduced from the last time. There is a new government. And I remember the last time it was introduced, Mayor McBain, you amended it so that it would be our number one health priority. That is why I have chosen the wording very carefully. The number one priority above all others. An amendment is not in order when it counters the principal intent of the motion. And I would hope there's no attempt to water this motion down with some amendment. If you do not like this motion, vote against it and bring forward another. But I believe it is very important for this community, its elected representatives, to send a very clear message to the provincial government that in Moose Jaw we regard the expansion and upgrade of our hospital as the number one priority for this community in respect to capital funding from the province. And I would request a recorded vote.
Thank you, Councillor Swanson. Councillor Findlay.
Thank you, Mayor McBain. As a lot of people in the community know, my background is healthcare, and I worked for a lot of years, sometimes more years than I really want to remember, at the Union Hospital. And it does need an upgrade and an expansion. It is badly in need of that. But I feel very strongly a letter is not the best way to get the attention of the government. I think a letter can be filed quite easily. I feel that it's time for a delegation consisting of City Council, Five Hills Administration, physicians, representatives of rural towns and municipalities. All have such a vested interest in this project because Five Hills takes in a considerable area. A meeting with Premier Brad Wall, Honorable Don McMorris, MLAs Warren Mitchelson, Deb Higgins, Honorable Lyle Stewart. For that reason, I'm going to move a referral of this item to administration to advise City Council of the feasibility of meeting with these dignitaries and bring this information, if possible, to Council on December the 17th Council meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Findlay. A referral motion. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Sago-Hendry. No discussion on the referral motion. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion is referred.